Hello everybody and welcome back to Syracuse Aviation. Before we get started, make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So today we have the April 2025 Syracuse Hancock International Airport update for you guys. We finally made it to the last airport update before I go home for the summer, and I have to say I just can't believe we're already here. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for sticking around for these while I've been away. I've really tried super hard to get these done and they haven't been perfect, but all things considered, I think we've managed to have a pretty good run regardless. Not a ton of new news for us here at SYR this month, aside from a returning service that had been suspended for the winter, but we'll get to that aircraft later on. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Concourse A. Here at Gate 1 is this JetBlue Airways Airbus A220-300 on the Old Hops livery. This guy is doing the Boston Logan overnight turn today. JetBlue's Boston service continues to run consistently with no changes to take note of, so it's always nice to have some consistency as per usual there. Next up at Gate 3 is JetBlue's new Spotlight livery featured on the Airbus A320 with sharklets. This aircraft will be heading down to Orlando MCO. Orlando has been 2 daily consistently since our last Syracuse airport update, with the other evening flight operated on the Airbus A220-300. Next up at Gate 5 is this American Eagle CRJ-700. This guy will be heading down to Washington, D.C.'s Ronald Reagan National Airport. Still 4 daily CRJ-700s for this flight like it has been for as long as I can remember, so great to have some solid frequencies on that service as always. American's Philadelphia service has also seen consistent frequencies as well, as we have this Embraer ERJ-145 who will be heading down to none other than PHL, of course, with 3 daily ERJ-145 flights per day on this service. At Gate 8 is the American Airlines Airbus A321 in the flagship Valor Medal of Honor livery. This aircraft will be heading down to Charlotte Douglas International Airport, of course. 3 daily flights to Charlotte consisting of the A319, A320, and A321, so very cool to see some variety on that service. The A319 comes in around noon, the 321 is later in the evening, and then the A320 does the overnight here as well. Next up at Gate 9 is the American Airlines Airbus A319. This guy is filling in for an A320, heading down to Dallas-Fort Worth DFW today. Nothing new for the Dallas service, consistent daily overnight A320, so no complaints there. Poking out behind the jet bridge there at Gate 10 is the American Eagle E175. This guy will be heading over to Chicago O'Hare today, currently at 4 daily flights, with some having 2 E170s and 2 E175s. Other days might have 1 E170 and 3 E175s. You might see some other combinations of aircraft on that service too. It kind of just depends on the day. Moving along, currently pushing back out of Gate 11 is the Allegiant Air Airbus A319 in the new livery. This aircraft arrived in earlier from Nashville and will be heading down to Myrtle Beach. Both of these services have been going consistently on Thursdays and Sundays with the A319 since they came back in early March. Finishing off Concourse A for us today is the Breeze Airways Airbus A220-300. This aircraft arrived in from Charleston, South Carolina and will be heading out to Las Vegas, Nevada. Breeze has been consistent here with all of their services, which also includes Raleigh-Durham, Tampa, and Fort Myers, in addition to Norfolk, which is seasonal, scheduled to come back in late June. Moving into Concourse B now, I'm going to start with some terminal expansion stuff, just briefly because we've been through this before. So at Gate 27, still no news for who's going to be using this gate. I have seen Delta trying to pick up some more gates kind of on Concourse A. They've been bouncing between 11 and 15 from what I've seen on the schedule a lot, so I have a hunch that maybe they're going to try to overnight the Minneapolis flight at Gate 27 at some point. Could be wrong, just some thoughts, putting them out there for you. And then the bump out at Gate 22 with the Einstein's Bagels has been going for a couple solid weeks now, and it sounds like it's been doing very well, so I'm excited to check that out. Hopefully in a couple months when I go back to the airport to fly to Atlanta. At Gate 26 is the United Airlines Boeing 737-900 in the EVA blue colors, filling in for a 737-700. This aircraft will be heading out to Chicago O'Hare. Typically, the overnight is run on the 737-700 pretty consistently, actually, which is kind of surprising there. Just kidding. But I do see a 737 MAX 8 on the schedule, so that's kind of unique to see, but nothing new to make note of for this service. So let's move on to the Delta section. Next up at Gate 25 is the Delta Airlines Airbus A320 with service to Detroit. Nice to have the A320 back after a brief time of the A319 flying the overnight Detroit service, and then you have the CRJ-900s during the day to complement the A320 as well. Next up at Gate 24A is a Delta Connection CRJ-900 heading out to Minneapolis-St. Paul. So as I was alluding to in the beginning of today's airport update, we have a returning service that was suspended for the winter, so I'm super excited to have this flight back on the schedule and to include it in today's airport update as well. Next up here at Gate 24 is another Delta Connection CRJ-900. This one will be heading out to New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport today, which is currently flown on the CRJ 900 3 times per day. Next up here at Gate 23, finishing off our Delta Airlines section for us today is the Delta Airlines Airbus A321. This aircraft will be heading down to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Currently 3 daily flights on 2 A320s and 1 A321 for the overnight service as well. I will be taking advantage of one of the midday A320 flights on my way to Airliners International in late June, so stay on the lookout for content from that trip. It's going to be an awesome time. Very excited. And let's continue with the airport update with the rest of Concourse B. Continuing with United Airlines, at Gate 22 is a CRJ 550 filling in for a CRJ 700 with service down to Washington Dulles. 4 flights per day on all regional jets currently. On today's schedule, I'm seeing 2 ERJ 145s, an E170, and a CRJ 700. At Gate 21 is the United Airlines Airbus A320 in the Evo blue colors, filling in for an A319 today with service out to Denver, Colorado. So Denver, still currently the once daily overnight service A319. Looking forward to the 2 daily 737s this summer though. Can't remember exactly when those are coming in, but those are going to be a lot of fun to have in the airport updates as well. Get some more variety on the 737. So very much looking forward to that. Let's get into our last aircraft at Concourse B. That's going to take us over to Gate 20 with the Frontier Airlines Airbus A321 featuring Powder the Polar Bear on the tail. Heading down to Orlando MCO today. Currently the only route that Frontier has out of Syracuse. Kind of unfortunate. Apparently we're supposed to have some route resumptions at some point, but I haven't heard any news on those. So Orlando, currently a daily A320 or A321. Kind of just depends on the day or what they have available. Our final aircraft for today's April 2025 Syracuse Hancock International Airport update is the UPS Airbus A300. This aircraft just arrived in from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. We'll be heading out there in the morning as well. So that's going to do it for today's airport update of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, once again, of April 2025. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking the video down below and subscribing to the channel if you are new. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave me a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.